Yo, yo, yo. What's up? How are we doing? Are we live? And we are live. All right. So, welcome. Brendo here. Today we're going to be adjusting the tension on this stick to create a flared channel. And then we're going to be going over some heads I saw this week that were strung pretty well on Instagram. We're going to call that the Showtime of the week. So let's get into the flare video. This is where we left off last week with the traditional, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 diamond traditional, strung with the tratty tree. Everything's fairly symmetrical for a trad, but we're going to be adding a flare to this channel. So right now you'll see the ball sits pretty flat, and we're going to change that a little bit. Basically what I'm doing is I have the center string tied off at the bottom here, so I'm untying this knot, and then we're going to loosen this string back up to about this point. So to start, giving it that tension, releasing the tension. Then we're just gonna give it slack. Kind of reversing our way up the head. That's too tight. So we're leaving slack between every spot. There's a slack, bring it up the head. Next knot, bring that slack up. Make sure you leave room. All right, so you see how that center channel is loosening up. I'm gonna work on installing a camera right here so you could see a little better. But let me know about the format if you're in here. How are we looking? So it doesn't have to look too pretty. We're just bringing the string up the head. We have our outers pretty tight and symmetrical when we set them, when we finish stringing at first. So as you can see, we're only changing the center. You can see the slack coming in. Not pretty right now, but we're gonna adjust it. You can see the channel flaring though. And then we're gonna stop right here. So this is going to stay as tight as possible, but we're going to leave this a little looser and then gradually get looser as we go down. But check this out. Now you have a little bit deeper of a channel in that trad. If that makes sense, the ball. And then look, when the ball goes in, it's flaring out. So we're not done, but you could kind of see the effects of the flare if we left it really loose. But we're going to tighten up a bit. And then you're just coming down the head, but we're going to get gradually tighter and tighter. The key here, this fucking mic, the key, tightening the interlock, but keeping this loose. So this is above where I'm tightening. And then going down to the next one, taking out a little slack, but leaving that looseness above and tightening below. A little tricky. Again, coming down to the next, tightening a bit, and then yank on it, leaving this loose above it. Again, pull out a little slack, hold tight, and grip. Bottom lock we can leave fairly tight. And one thing about this at the end here, you really don't have to, as long as you tighten these locks, we'll be able to pound it so that everything settles into place once we hit it with the bat. Let's take a look. Just going to tie this off at the bottom now. And then once we get to pounding, it'll settle in to lock it in. Usually I wait until after I'm finished with this point to start getting at it with the bat. So there's a couple steps. This is going to leave your pocket deeper than when you originally strung it. Check it out. You can kind of tell that flare where the ball is sitting. More hold. I'm going to grab a bat. I'll be right back. Got the handy dandy bat. Plug in. So we tied the bottom off. Here. Have a knot there, knot coming through. And then we're just going to start pounding the center. And this will lock the knots in place, leave that looseness. You can see the flare coming in. Tight, the top is still tight though, which is key to prevent that hook. And I'm thinking we'll likely end up tightening these leathers down after a little pound sesh to maintain legality. So there she blows. put a ball in. Pretty sick. But she's illegal deep. So we'll tighten the leathers. And that should keep the flare in the pocket, bring the depth down. So after we pound, obviously it's very deep, so we're just gonna smidge these down. Let's see if we can complete this on the string. And I'd like to just eyeball it. The old chin press. Center looks like it tightened up. A little tighter. Let's tie her down. The back one more again, top still tight, and then that pocket flare, beauty. So that's going to hold the ball a little better than your traditional trad. See how that ball sits deep in the cross lace, and then the leathers hug the ball instead of just sitting flat on top of the ball, on top of the leathers. So that's big to me. Feels great. There she blows. And this is just a rough example, but you could definitely tighten, readjust, loosen where you want. Obviously this came out to the lower end of the pocket, but if you want, you could add a flare a little higher up here. I like to keep the top very tight though. And yeah, I know this thing will be sick once you break her in. Very sweet. All right, so that was the first segment of today. Wanted to show this head, and I also wanted to get into a Showtime video where I show off the coolest heads I found on Instagram this week. See if I could pull this up. This is my Instagram. So, first up, let's see if this loads. We're frozen. There we go. So this was Strung by Matlow on Instagram with the Trad X. Looking very sweet. This dropped today, 21 hours ago. So Strung by Matlow with the Evo and the Trad X, all black, brown leathers, sick. Very well done. And then our second Showtime of the week by Lax_Jax on Instagram with the Twisted Trad. This shit is insane. So much work. The tension work to make that look symmetrical. It's so trippy. So cool. On the old school head. What head is that? The XTX Source with the orange and teal. Twisted Trad. Sick. Lax_Jax. Showtime of the week. Maybe I'm thinking I'll start maybe sending leather kits, stringing kits out to people that win this, just to get people more interested in winning, push competition. So something to look forward to. Stay tuned every Friday. That's going to be the new drop. But that's all for today. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Flare your channels. Tag me on Insta. Thank you. Watch out for the reels.